Hey everyone, and welcome back to the LearnXYZ channel. Today we're going deep on something that's creating a lot of buzz.
Especially in India.
Yeah, especially in India. Jio Coin and JioSphere, and how these innovations could really reshape India's digital landscape.
And maybe even have global ripples.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really fascinating what's happening over there.
I think so too. So,
Reliance Jio, this company, a company known for its telecom empire, is stepping into the blockchain arena. And they're not just dipping their toes, they are going all in.
Yeah.
They're creating a whole new ecosystem where users get rewarded for their everyday digital interactions.
So for those tuning in for the first time, what exactly are Jio Coin and JioSphere?
Right. So think of Jio Coin as like a digital reward token. Almost like loyalty points, but with the potential for much broader use. You earn these coins by engaging with various Jio apps and services, including their new web browser, JioSphere. Now, JioSphere is built to make your browsing experience more secure and private, and as a bonus, you accumulate these Jio coins as you browse.
So it's like getting something back for your time online.
Exactly.
Not just passively scrolling. The article we have from LearnXYZ mentions JioSphere runs on Polygon's blockchain. So what does that mean for the average user?
That's a great question. So choosing Polygon is a very strategic move by Jio. It's an Ethereum Layer 2 network. Known for being super fast and efficient. This means transactions involving Jio coins are going to be quick and affordable, which is a big deal in the world of blockchain.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially when we're talking about mass adoption. You need something that's fast.
Speed and low cost. Easy. Key. For mass adoption, especially in a market like India.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. It sounds like they're really focused on that user friendliness, especially for those who might be new to the whole blockchain concept. So what can users actually do with these Jio coins once they've earned them?
So this is where things get really interesting. While Jio hasn't officially announced all the redemption options yet, there's a lot of speculation about some very exciting possibilities.
Like what?
Think mobile recharges, bill payments, getting discounts on JioMart, which is their online shopping platform. Maybe even access to premium Jio services.
Wow, so they're essentially building their own digital economy within the Jio ecosystem with Jio coins as the currency.
That's exactly right. And that's what makes this so fascinating to watch. Because Jio has a massive user base in India. Over 450 million subscribers.
Wow.
Imagine the impact if even a fraction of those users actively start earning and spending Jio coins. This could be a massive catalyst for blockchain adoption in the country.
And this is something that's been a bit slow, I think, as our LearnXYZ article points out.
A bit slow, yes.
And that's not even taking into account the potential integration with Jio financial services.
Right, which could be a game changer. If Jio coins can be used for a wider range of financial transactions, it could really disrupt the traditional systems that are in place.
I think so. So before we get ahead of ourselves and dive into all the future possibilities.
Let's take a closer look at how Jio Coin works.
How do users actually earn these rewards?
Well, the LearnXYZ article breaks it down really well. It's all about actively engaging with the Jio ecosystem. For example, you can earn Jio coins simply by browsing the internet using JioSphere. The more you browse, the more Jio coins you accumulate.
So pretty straightforward there.
It's interesting because it incentivizes users to spend more time within the Jio ecosystem. But they're not just limiting it to browsing. You can earn Jio coins by using other Jio apps like MyJio, their central hub for managing your account, Jio Cinema for streaming, and even Jio games.
So lots of different ways to earn.
There are many different ways to earn these Jio coins. And all these Jio coins are securely stored in Polygon wallets, which means users have full control over their rewards and can easily access them.
I mean, this just seems like such a big step towards mainstreaming blockchain technology, making it a natural part of everyday digital life.
That's right. They're lowering the barrier to entry, making it simple for the average person. And if they pull this off, it could have a ripple effect on the entire tech industry, pushing other companies to explore similar blockchain integrations.
It really is a fascinating story. That's still unfolding.
It is.
And if you're finding this as interesting as we are, be sure to visit LearnXYZ-In. We have a ton of resources there that break down complex topics like blockchain and Web3 in an easy-to-understand way.
In very simple terms.
So, Let's move on to JioSphere. So it's not just a way to earn Jio coins.
Right.
It's a whole new way to experience the internet. The LearnXYZ article highlighted some impressive features: faster browsing, enhanced security, increased privacy compared to traditional browsers. And this is all achieved through its unique integration with blockchain technology. So that's a big claim. I mean, most people are used to.
Right.
Chrome or Firefox. How does JioSphere actually compare?
Okay, so
Especially in terms of privacy.
this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
JioSphere takes data privacy seriously in a way we haven't really seen before, unlike those traditional browsers that track your every move. JioSphere is built to minimize data collection. They're leveraging blockchain's inherent security features to give users much more control over their online information.
So they're really tapping into this growing concern that people have
Yes.
about online privacy,
Yeah.
data breaches. With JioSphere,
Okay.
users could potentially have ownership of their data
That's the idea.
instead of it being held by large tech companies.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty significant shift
It was
in how we think about data
a significant shift.
on the internet.
Yeah.
So let's get specific. How does this actually work?
Okay.
How does JioSphere make browsing more secure? The article highlights a couple of key features. First, they have private browsing modes.
Which are becoming more common, but they've taken it a step further. With blockchain-backed data encryption,
Okay.
this adds an extra layer of security, making it much harder for anyone to track or intercept your browsing activity.
That's clever.
It is.
They're combining existing privacy tools with blockchain
Right.
to create
Yeah.
a more robust and secure browsing experience.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique approach.
It is. It almost feels like they're trying to address
Yeah.
some of the biggest criticisms that people have about the internet,
Yes.
especially in the wake of all the recent data breaches and privacy scandals. People are looking for alternatives, and JioSphere seems positioned to be a solution.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it aligns with the growing trend of data decentralization. With JioSphere, users could have more ownership and control over their data. Rather than it being held and potentially exploited by large corporations, it's a paradigm shift that could have far-reaching implications for the future of the internet.
So it's a bold move. But let's bring it back to Jio Coin for a moment. We've talked about how users can earn it, but I'm curious about the actual earning process itself.
Okay.
Is it complicated?
Not at all.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of what Jio's doing. They're making it incredibly simple.
No.
You don't need to understand the intricacies of blockchain to participate. As we discussed, you earn Jio coins just by using Jio apps and services. The more you browse on JioSphere, the more coins you accumulate. It's all seamlessly integrated into the user experience.
So no need to understand complex blockchain concepts
Exactly.
or go through complicated setup procedures.
That's a key factor for mass adoption,
Yeah.
especially in a diverse country like India, where tech literacy varies greatly.
Right. It needs to be
It needs to be simple and intuitive
simple and intuitive.
for everyone to get on board.
Yeah. And that seems like what they've done.
They've done a great job of abstracting away the technical complexities. It's designed to be accessible to anyone, regardless of their tech background.
Yeah. That's a really smart strategy.
Right.
Especially if they want to position Jio Coin as a digital asset for the masses.
Right.
It needs to be easy to understand
Yeah,
and use for it to gain traction.
it does. And that brings us to a very crucial point that often comes up with blockchain and digital currencies. Data privacy.
Right.
How does Jio plan to handle this sensitive issue, especially in a market like India where data protection is a growing concern?
That's a great point. And it's something that the LearnXYZ article addresses directly. One of the core principles behind JioSphere is this enhanced privacy. Unlike traditional browsers that collect vast amounts of user data, JioSphere is designed from the ground up to minimize data tracking.
Yeah, it's a pretty stark contrast.
Yeah, and it's a smart move considering the increasing concerns about data breaches and online surveillance.
Right. People are becoming much more aware of how their data is being used,
Yeah.
and they're actively looking for solutions that prioritize privacy.
And JioSphere seems to be positioning itself as that solution. The article highlights features like private browsing modes and blockchain-backed data encryption, aiming to create a much more secure and private browsing experience. Do you think these features are enough to convince people to switch from the browsers they're used to?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It really depends on how Jio markets these features and educates users about the benefits. It's one thing to offer privacy-focused tools. It's another to convince people to actually use them and understand their value.
Right. It's a behavioral change.
It is.
And those are always challenging to drive.
Yeah, that's
like the creatures of habit, especially when it comes to technology.
Jio will need to make a compelling case for why JioSphere is a better alternative. They need to clearly demonstrate how these features can make a tangible difference in people's lives and enhance their digital experience.
I think so. It's a marketing challenge.
It is.
As much as a technological one.
Yeah.
They need to craft a narrative that resonates with users, emphasizing the value proposition of privacy and security in a way that's easy to understand.
And let's not forget about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The regulatory landscape for cryptocurrencies in India.
Yeah, that has been a bit of a roller coaster.
It has. The Indian government has taken a very cautious approach to cryptocurrencies, and the regulations are still evolving.
So how do you think this impacts Jio's plans for Jio Coin?
That's a very valid concern. However, Jio Coin being a reward token might fall into a slightly different category than, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's not primarily designed for trading or speculation, which seems to be where most of the regulatory scrutiny is focused.
Okay, so it could potentially avoid some of those regulatory hurdles that more traditional cryptocurrencies face.
That's the current thinking. Plus, the fact that Jio Coin transactions are designed to follow Indian cryptocurrency tax regulations shows that they're committed to operating within the existing legal framework.
So it seems like they're trying to strike a balance
They are
between innovating and ensuring compliance, which is a smart move, considering the uncertainty surrounding crypto regulations in India.
Exactly. They're not trying to disrupt the system. They're trying to work within it to bring blockchain to the masses. And their close ties with Indian policymakers could also work in their favor. Jio has a history of aligning its digital ventures with government initiatives.
That's a good point. It suggests they're likely to navigate the regulatory landscape effectively and find ways to adapt to any changes.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the financial implications of Jio Coin. We've touched on how it could disrupt traditional systems, but what about its potential impact on financial inclusion in India?
Right.
The LearnXYZ article hinted at this. There's still a significant portion of the Indian population that's unbanked.
Yeah. How could Jio Coin change that?
This is where it could be a game changer. Jio Coin could provide access to a digital asset that's easy to use and understand, even for those who are unfamiliar with traditional banking systems.
So it's like a gateway to the world of digital finance.
Exactly.
And if Jio integrates Jio Coin with its financial services arm, as the article suggests, it could open up a whole new world of possibilities for those who have been excluded from the formal financial system.
Think about the potential for microloans, peer-to-peer payments, even access to investment opportunities, all powered by Jio Coin.
That's a powerful concept.
It is.
And it aligns with Jio's mission of connecting the unconnected.
Precisely. It's about empowering people financially and giving them tools to participate in the digital economy.
This is getting really fascinating. I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way. If you want to dive deeper into the world of blockchain, that's cryptocurrencies, and the future of finance, be sure to visit LearnXYZ-In. We've got a ton of great resources there to keep you informed.
Now, while we've been focusing on the positive potential of Jio Coin and JioSphere, it's important to acknowledge that there could be challenges along the way.
Yeah, of course. One that immediately comes to mind is security.
Right, that's a critical point. Blockchain technology is generally considered secure, but it's not immune to attacks. So how can Jio ensure the security of users' Jio Coin holdings and the integrity of the JioSphere platform?
It seems like it would be paramount that they invest heavily in robust security measures and protocols.
They'll need to have top-notch cybersecurity teams and constantly update their systems to stay ahead of potential threats.
Yeah, I mean, any security breach, especially in the early stages, could severely damage user trust and set back the adoption of Jio Coin.
Absolutely. They need to make security a top priority from day one, and they need to be transparent with users about their security measures, outlining the steps they're taking to protect their assets.
So transparency and communication will be key to building trust and confidence in the platform. Another challenge I foresee is scalability. As more users join the Jio Coin ecosystem, the platform will need to handle a growing volume of transactions.
That's a good point. They'll need to make sure the underlying technology can scale to meet demand without compromising speed or performance.
So it's a technical hurdle.
It is.
But one that Jio, with its experience in building and managing large-scale digital platforms, should be able to overcome. They have a solid track record of innovation and a deep understanding of the Indian market.
I agree. They've proven their ability to handle massive user bases and complex technological challenges.
And then, of course, there's the competitive landscape.
Right.
Jio isn't the only player in the blockchain space. How do they plan to stand out amidst established cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance platforms, and other tech giants exploring blockchain solutions?
It's a very crowded market, and users have a lot of options to choose from.
Yeah.
Jio will need to leverage its strengths, particularly its massive user base and its deep understanding of the Indian market, to differentiate itself.
They'll need to clearly articulate their unique value proposition. Why should users choose Jio Coin and JioSphere over the alternative?
Right. It's about highlighting the benefits that are most relevant to the Indian market. Things like financial inclusion, ease of use, and accessibility.
So it'll be interesting to see how they position themselves.
They will.
Do you think they'll focus on competing directly with existing cryptocurrencies? Or will they try to carve out their own niche?
It's likely a combination of both.
Okay.
They'll need to compete on certain levels, but they also need to highlight what makes them different and what sets them apart. It's a strategic balancing act.
Speaking of competition, let's not forget about the existing players in the browser market.
Okay.
How do you think JioSphere stacks up against established browsers like Chrome, Firefox, and Brave? Particularly the privacy-focused ones.
That's where the comparison gets interesting. While browsers like Brave have made strides in privacy protection, JioSphere takes a more holistic approach by integrating blockchain technology at its core.
Okay.
This allows for features like blockchain-backed data encryption and potentially greater control over user data.
So it's a different level of integration.
It is.
And it could be a significant differentiator, especially for users who are particularly concerned about data privacy and security.
It could be a key selling point. But it remains to be seen how effectively Jio can communicate those benefits to users and convince them to make the switch.
Right. It's all about user perception.
It is.
And adoption. No matter how great the technology is, it won't succeed if people don't understand it or don't see the value in using it.
Absolutely. Education and awareness will be crucial for Jio's success in this space.
So it's a fascinating journey.
It is.
And we're just at the beginning. If you're intrigued by all this and want to delve deeper into the world of blockchain and Web3, be sure to visit LearnXYZ-In. We've got a treasure trove of resources there, including articles, insights, and news updates on everything blockchain.
Now let's talk about the potential future implications of Jio Coin and JioSphere.
Okay.
We've touched on some possibilities, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the bigger picture.
Yeah, the LearnXYZ article paints a picture of a future where Jio Coin becomes a widely accepted digital asset, not just within the Jio ecosystem, but potentially beyond. What do you think?
It's certainly a possibility. If Jio can successfully establish Jio Coin as a trusted and widely used digital asset within India, leveraging its massive user base and existing infrastructure, there's no reason why it couldn't expand its reach globally.
Imagine a world where you can use your Jio Coins to pay for goods and services anywhere in the world, just like you would with a credit card.
It's a compelling vision.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the broader trend of digital currencies challenging the dominance of traditional financial systems.
Yeah, I think we are witnessing a shift toward a more decentralized and inclusive financial landscape. And Jio Coin could be a major player in that transformation.
It's certainly an exciting space to watch.
It is. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are a lot of ifs and buts along the way.
Right.
What are some of the potential roadblocks that Jio might encounter as they try to scale Jio Coin beyond India's borders?
Well, one of the biggest challenges will be navigating the complex and often conflicting regulatory landscape for cryptocurrencies globally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Different countries have different rules and regulations, and Jio will need to carefully consider these factors as they expand.
So they'll need to be adaptable and strategic in their approach, finding ways to comply with local regulations while still maintaining the core functionality
and value proposition of Jio Coin.
Exactly. It's a delicate balancing act.
Another challenge will be gaining acceptance from merchants and businesses outside of India
Right.
They'll need to convince them to accept Jio Coin as a form of payment, which might require offering incentives or demonstrating the benefits of doing so.
It's about building partnerships and creating a network of merchants that accept Jio Coin, which can be a very slow and challenging process.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then there's the challenge of user adoption.
Right.
While Jio has a huge user base in India, they'll need to find ways to attract users in other countries who might already be using other digital currencies or payment methods.
They'll need to offer a compelling reason for users to switch to Jio Coin, with a unique value proposition.
Yeah.
That sets it apart from the competition. Why should users choose Jio Coin over other established options?
That's the key question. They'll need to differentiate themselves in a crowded market and convince users that Jio Coin offers something truly unique and valuable.
It's a big task.
It is.
But Jio has a history of disrupting industries and challenging the status quo. They've certainly set their sights high with Jio Coin and JioSphere.
They have, and it will be fascinating to see how this story unfolds. Will they succeed in their ambitious goals and become a major player in the global blockchain ecosystem?
It's a question that we'll be exploring in more depth in future episodes. So be sure to subscribe to the LearnXYZ channel for all the latest insights and analysis. And remember, you can find a wealth of information on Jio Coin, JioSphere, and the future of blockchain at LearnXYZ-In.
It's definitely going to be an interesting journey to watch, and it brings up another point that's often debated when discussing blockchain. Its environmental impact. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have faced a lot of criticism for their high energy consumption.
Right.
So where does Jio Coin stand on this?
That's a really great question. And it's something that's becoming increasingly important, I think. For consumers who are environmentally conscious, the LearnXYZ article actually touches on this. Jio seems to be addressing this concern by building Jio Coin on the Polygon network,
Right.
which is known for being much more energy efficient.
That's right. Polygon uses a proof-of-stake consensus mechanism, which consumes significantly less energy compared to Bitcoin's proof-of-work system.
Okay.
This makes Jio Coin a much more sustainable option from an environmental standpoint.
Yeah, and it aligns with
Awesome.
the growing demand for eco-friendly tech solutions.
Absolutely.
So I think it's encouraging to see that Jio is taking these considerations into account, especially as awareness of climate change and the need for sustainable solutions continue to grow.
It's a smart move from both a business and an ethical perspective.
Yeah, I think so too.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the mechanics of Jio Coin and JioSphere to their potential impact on India's digital landscape and beyond. But before we wrap up, I'd like to kind of shift gears a bit and talk about Jio's venture into Web3 as a whole. What does this move signal about the future of blockchain technology, not just in India, but globally?
I think it signals that we're moving away from blockchain being this thing that's solely associated with cryptocurrencies and venturing into its integration into everyday applications and services.
It's blockchain moving from the fringes to the mainstream.
Yeah.
Jio is demonstrating that this technology can be used to enhance existing systems, create new value for users, and potentially solve real-world problems.
It's about making blockchain more accessible, more user-friendly, and most importantly, more relevant to people's lives.
Yeah,
not
just a niche technology for tech enthusiasts.
Right. And this trend, I think, is only going to accelerate as more companies recognize the potential of blockchain to improve efficiency, bolster security, and increase transparency across various industries.
We're truly on the cusp of a blockchain revolution, and Jio, with its aggressive push into Web3, is positioning itself to be a major player.
It's a fascinating time
It is.
to witness this transformation.
For our listeners who are eager to learn more about this evolving landscape, we highly recommend visiting our website, LearnXYZ-In.
Absolutely. We have a wealth of resources there.
Yeah.
From in-depth articles to expert insights and the latest news on all things blockchain.
So as we conclude our deep dive into Jio Coin and JioSphere, let's leave our listeners with one final thought. Imagine a world where your daily digital activities earn you valuable rewards.
Okay.
A world where your data is more secure and private. A world where you have more control over your online experiences. Could Jio Coin and JioSphere be the stepping stones to that future?
It's an intriguing question, and one that only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Reliance Jio's bold entry into the world of Web3 has set the stage for a new era of digital innovation. Not just in India, but potentially globally.
It's a development worth watching closely.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Jio Coin and JioSphere. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking.
And for all of you who are eager to learn more about blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and the future of the internet, be sure to visit our website, www.LearnXYZ-In. Like this video and subscribe to the LearnXYZ channel to stay updated on our latest deep dives into the world of technology and innovation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.